What's up, fam? What's today? Happy Monday. Welcome back to another week of Mastermind Academy. What's wrong with my light? It's not I don't know. Either way, all good. How's everyone doing today? What's up, MG? Welcome first again. What's up, Mickey? What's up, Jarman? In with the controversy immediately. I feel you. What's up, Key Lime TV? What's up, Greatest Rob? I made it. I made it on time. Come on now. Come on. The things are not amazing, but we're gonna be on time. What do we say? Always 7 o'clock. It was super close. Yeah, I do hope it was pretty close, kind of close. What's up, Devo8? Yeah, drama for sure. I hope everyone is doing okay. I'm for sure drained, to be 100% honest with you. We're not gonna dive today into everything that's going on, mostly just because, again, I got to deal with it everywhere else in my life right now, so I don't really want to deal with it here. But what I will say is, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter whether or not you feel like what's going on right now is right or wrong, or whatever your feelings are about it, I highly encourage everybody to be open-minded. Allow yourself to listen a little bit. I mean, people are in pain, man. People are hurting. I highly encourage everyone to listen with an open mind. I know everyone thinks they have the answers. I know everyone's situation has told them that everyone feels like they know the right thing. But just listen to the people who are going through what they're going through. And just be a person, be human, empathize, put yourself in other people's shoes for a minute. Don't assume that what you believe to be correct is correct. I assure you, I've had tons of conversations where people told me that what I was telling them didn't happen, like to me, where they were like, that's not how it went down. You're embellishing it, you're remembering it wrong, because that's not how things work here. And I was like, all right, and that showed me a lot about how people can take their own experiences into account and use their own experiences to discount the experiences of others. But again, just listen, love each other, all good, man. I mean, I think what's going on right now is I think it was bound to happen. I think with coronavirus and everything else going on, everything is coming to a head. Whether or not this is the most convenient time, probably not. But again, it's just be kind to each other. It's exhausting to a lot of people. A lot of people are exhausted today at work. There's a lot of discussions happening. We're having a team meeting tomorrow about it. But people are just people are going through it. So we're people. Be kind to each other, and that's all that matters. Just be kind to each other. It's okay to disagree on things, but just be kind. Please be kind. But that's it. Yeah, no, things are good for me. Again, just tired, just tired of reading stuff, tired of seeing stuff, but it's all good. I definitely understand. But yeah, DC is crazy out here. Yeah, I was actually planning on going to the office today to grab something, but they told us they were starting protests around 3, and they highly advise people stay out, so I stayed out for sure. I am not trying to get stuck in the office, so yeah. But all that aside, again, we can't always turn off completely what's going on in the world, but what we can do is take a little bit of time out to ensure that we are investing in ourselves, that we're investing in our minds, so that at the other end of this coronavirus stuff, at the other end of the protesting and the injustice and all the things that are going on right now, when we get to the other end of the wild 2020, we want to make sure that we didn't spend this time we want to make sure we spend this time in a good way. So tonight we're going to be learning about deployment strategies, particularly global deployment strategies. These are not specific to AWS. These practices can be practiced, bare metal or any other cloud provider, but they're pretty important to know about. They're pretty important to kind of understand as you go through your career, understanding how both software and infrastructure reach the people who need access to them. So it should be pretty simple. And again, I say every time, more I'm more confident tonight than I've ever been in my whole life that tonight we will be out of here early. There are only like 8 slides. I don't even think I put them in Google Classroom because there weren't that many, but I need to put them in Google Classroom. Let's do that first. But there are exactly 8. I called it perfectly, exactly 8 slides, one being the title slide. We're going to try to do a lot of this manually. We're going to do it with Nginx instead of using AWS's load balancers, because I think there'll be a visual nature to the changes that I make, which may help. We'll try to run through it. Some of it'll work, some of it might not. Like I wasn't actually going to go through any of it manually, but I think it's going to be important too. So we'll see what happens. So I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants for the doing it live. And you know what happens when you do it live. Everything doesn't always work, but it's gonna work today, guaranteed. So what we're gonna do is let's first get this stuff in the classroom, if I didn't already get it in the classroom, and then let's go over to Academy view. Let's see, classroom. I know you guys can't see this screen. I don't feel like changing it. Horizons. Today is the 9th. We are already we're in the 5th week. It's amazing. Create a topic 09. Yeah, 09. Deployment strategies. And I think I spelled strategies. No, I spelled it right. Okay. And I'll just put the slides in there for you now. And we can grab all the rest a little bit later. Sorry, I really apologize that they weren't in there. Like I said, I'm a little tired. I've been kind of out of it for the past couple days. So everything going on, just kind of, you know, it kind of consumes you with everything else. The dog is like, she had a bad day today too, and like it's just a lot. But I'm actually super glad to be here with you all. To be honest, it's a nice little cut out of the day. Don't have to worry about work, all this other stuff. Okay. Slides are posted. Let me get you the link really quick. Share, get shareable link. Anyone with a link can in fact view. I'm also tired because we went on about me and my wife went on a nice yesterday was beautiful, first off, and we went on a 15-mile ride, a little over 15 miles bike ride, really nice. Rode down in the harbor, you know, walked around like a little, you know, little date, you know, out on the harbor, really nice. We rode back, then we actually went walking with her family in we live right next to Arboretum, so you know that's where like they got cool trees and stuff from all around the world, and it was really nice. Not some plants and stuff. There's some trails through there. We actually went and walked through there as well, and then we actually sat outside. I had, you know, always work to do. Sat outside, did some work. It was really nice. But then today I woke up feeling, you know, great, because our bike ride yesterday, we kind of took it simple, nice and easy, and I felt great when we came back. You know, I was like, oh, that was an easy 15 miles. Like, we kind of chilled, and I went for like a 22-mile ride today, and I tried to go hard, and it smoked me. Not gonna lie, I'm smoked right now. I was ready for it. Like I was good. I didn't die. I didn't burn out or anything like that. But it was a noticeable stress over the other rides that I've been going on. So, you know, maybe have overdid it just a little bit. I'm still gonna go on a ride in the morning, but I'm gonna take it easy. I may go for like a 10-miler, a little comfortable 10-miler, because today was interesting. All right, shared. Oh yeah, thank you for there we go. You shared it already. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, first off, bikes right now, the state of bikes is supply and demand. They are flying off the shelves, so it's kind of hard to get a decent price bike right now. Really hard to find a decent price bike. I've been kind of living at the bike shop, just getting some things for my setup and stuff. But yeah, you know, I'm good to go. I ride a lot. It's really nice to be able to like go far, like during the time. It's like nowhere to really drive to, but to kind of just be out, you know, I throw my headphones on and just go kind of explore the city. There's a surprising amount of like trails and stuff like in the city. Like people don't really realize there's a lot of I'm not just riding out on the streets. I'm not really a street rider, not really my thing, but there's a lot of different places to go. So it's been fun to kind of explore. I used to mountain bike. I really wish I had a mountain bike right now. Like now's the perfect time to go mountain biking, but I don't have a mountain bike right now, and they're pretty expensive. So I'm gonna have to wait till next year to go on my mountain biking escapades, because like only ones are left. Like the store that we have near us, the bike shop we have near us, they only have like all the bikes like $1,500 and under are gone. Like all of them are gone, and now they just have the big boy bikes. And it's like, people are just walking in trying to, go for a ride with their family. But people are spending big money. We spend big money as well. But I know about bikes, and I'm into vehicles, like mechanicals. I'm into all that stuff. I know how to work on bikes. Like I said, I used to mountain bike. Like I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm getting. So yeah, I have a what do I have? I have a Surly Midnight Special 650B. 27.5-inch wheels. Nice. It's very like gravel, but more like road bike geometry. Is kind of fun. And my wife has a Journeyman, a Salsa Journeyman 650B, so it's pretty dope. But like I said, we're having a good time. It's fun to just get out there and go. But all right, let's get started. It is 7-11, and now I want to go. I haven't had. Has anyone had a taquito recently? That might be. You know what? Being tired. To refuel for my ride tomorrow, maybe I'll have to go pick up a taquito. My wife will not allow it, but I'll do what I gotta do. She's not the boss of me. I don't think. She can't hear me. Not classes, sorry. Let's go to drive. And let's see what we can get through tonight. I think it should be fun. We'll draw a couple diagrams and stuff too. But it's fun. Yeah, she won't know. Exactly. I'm like, hey baby, I'm going for a drive. And I will and I will make my stop. 100%. Hey, look at that taquito. I'll let you guys know how it is. Only if they have, I only remember, I don't know what flavors they have now, but I only remember liking the I think it was a Monterey Jack one. I didn't like the taco one, or was it beef and queso or whatever. I don't know, man. The way I used to eat was gross in high school and college. I don't know how I survived it, but I did. I 100% survived it for now. So we'll see. We'll see what the lasting effects are. But tonight we're going to be talking about. Wait, let's get it right. Actually, I can deepen my voice here.
Deployment strategies. The essence of strategy is choosing what not to do.
Okay, we did it. We used it. We got to use it every single stream because it's important. But yeah, tonight we're gonna be talking about deployment strategies. How do we get cloud computing? The goal of cloud computing is to be able to run tools and services for people to use, internal and external. So maybe the world, maybe the people at your company, but deployment strategies are the way that you get these things out to the people who need them wherever they may be. And these are very important. And yeah, and there's a lot that goes into this, and we'll talk about why there's a lot that goes into this. So software deployment is all of the activities that make a software system available for you. So exactly what we just said, but in a more concise way. All of the activities that make a software system available for you. So developers, develop features, so that your Uber app can do all the things that it needs to do. And in accordance with that, maybe there's some infrastructure that needs to be spun up underneath it, things like databases, new database tables and things like that. And then eventually it makes its way, gets tested, and it moves through a pipeline, and it makes its way out to your phones, in their backend systems as well. And how does that happen, and what are some ways that can happen? So all we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna run. You know what we're gonna do? Should I run through all of them? No, I'm gonna run through them one at a time. I'm actually gonna run through them, and I'm actually gonna do them. So when I get to the hands-on portions, tonight's not intended to be hands-on at all. Like I said, I'm gonna run through and I'm gonna set some stuff up. We're gonna see if we can see it happen live, see it happen manually, so it'll make a little more sense to what that means. And again, these are going to be very simplified setups for this, but I think it'll be fun for us to kind of go through it. Ask any kind of questions you want, we have time. So the first deployment strategy is the recreate strategy. So what does this mean? This means the way that you get your software out to someone is, first, you destroy the current version that you have. So you just, you can't have two of them running at the same time. People need to have access to this new version. So you destroy the current version to make space for the new version. And then you go ahead and deploy the new version of code. Now, this is how things were done. I'm sure there are people who still do this, but it's a simplified setup. To do this is pretty easy. You don't really have to do anything. You can kind of utilize the same things that you normally do, but it's a really simple setup, and you kind of just pull something down and you can utilize what you have to kind of recreate it with the newest version on top of it. And again, this can be code, this can be changes to the infrastructure, this can be anything that helps your underlying application move forward, any kind of updates that you need. But even though it's simple, there's no need for you to worry about state. So we'll talk about state a little bit a little deeper. But imagine state just being the current. I don't want to use the word state again, but the current way that the server and the application sits, the data that's on it, the things that have happened to get it to where it currently is the state. And state's a very important thing. And it can get out of whack. It can get out of whack if the backend data is looking for certain things and you change a bunch of other things. It can get very, very confusing. But you don't have to worry about it in this situation, because you're completely destroying the old system and the old setup and the old app or the old application, and you are spinning up new instances, new servers, new pieces of the application. So you don't need to worry about state, because it will get recreated when you recreate it. But the biggest problem with this is downtime. So this obviously is not the best thing for external users. If we need to get this out to, all of you who need it, if it's a money-making application, this might be something that we don't want to do. A lot of times recreate is done internally to internal systems. Maybe it'll be done at night since there's no one working and things like that, to make it kind of just easy. But there is downtime associated. Again, if you tear something down, it's going to be down until you spin up the new version of it. So that's recreate, and we'll see the recreate. A lot of the things that we're going to do tonight, even this one, really are enabled by load balancing. And we talked about load balancers and those load balancer pools, but a lot of these things are enabled by that. They were able to be done beforehand. You'll see how they were able to be done beforehand, because again, we are not going to use these load balancer pools. And again, it's only for and I think it'll be a little bit easier visually to see how these kind of things work if we use Nginx to quickly do it, and to kind of also understand just the way that traffic moves. But yes, load balancers are kind of one of the keys that make all this pretty easy. So let's do something real quick. Let's get some servers set up so we can start showing this. And I think let's challenge ourselves a little bit. It is 9:18. I think by 9:25 or 7, sorry, I'm looking at, it's 19:18, 7:18. I think by 7:25 we can have one load balancer up, one Nginx load balancer up that we set up, and I'm gonna say I want six servers behind it. I want one load balancer, and I want 6 servers behind it. And I think we're gonna get that done in 6 minutes. So let's do that real quick. Let's log into Amazon console.aws.com. Let's get logged in. Where's my phone? Let's get my Authy code and see if we can meet our goal. 775 655. I like when it gives me nice clean numbers like that. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna add even more S3. We're gonna use EC2 for all of this. And actually, I wish, it's fine. I was gonna say, I wish that I would have set a domain up. So we do have a domain for pipelines. Maybe I'll grab one for this. For our pipelines course, we are using, I purchased pipelines.academy because I did not know .academy was a thing. So that's pretty cool. Maybe I should buy mastermind.academy. That'll probably be nice for some stuff. But oh, what is this? I am going to leave. I'm gonna assume this is just a random EC2 instance. I'm gonna leave this up. No, I'm not, because I think this is from this weekend. I'm gonna stop this. Okay, here's what we're gonna do real quick. I'm gonna launch an instance. I'm gonna launch it again. I'm gonna do everything on Ubuntu just for consistency's sake. Doesn't really matter here. I'm gonna leave everything as default. Everything, even this 8 gigs security group, add rule. I'm gonna add HTTP. You've seen this. Again, no need to follow along. I'm just gonna get us some servers set up. The first thing I'm gonna get up is I'm going to get set up our, what is this key? I don't think I know what this key is. Let's go first instance. I'm gonna have one web server, which is this one. I should have given it a name tag, but I'll just make it here. So just very clearly, this is gonna be our web server. And then I'm gonna spin up 6 instances. And maybe this will work. And let's go instance details. I'm gonna give it some user data really quick. /bin/bash. Apt update. And apt upgrade -y. I'll do the one line. And apt install Nginx. And actually I think Nginx starts by default when you do this. -y just in case. We'll see if that works. I'm gonna spin up multiple ones. Number of instances, I'm gonna spin up 6. I said, right? 6. We got 4 minutes left to finish this. Hopefully that works. As storage, that's fine. I'll leave the names as is because I'm going to I shouldn't create a new one every time, but whatever. HTTP 80. Okay. Launch first instance key. And I'll name all of these really quickly. EC2 dashboard. I'll name them so that we know what they are. So I'm gonna name them, we can change the names later. I'm gonna name it Web 1, 2, Web 3, 4, 5, and 6 because, you know, that's just easy to do for now. And we'll change the names as we go through each deployment pattern so that we can see what happens there. 4, Web 5, and Web 6. Okay, so we have our web server right here. 1 web server and 6 web instances. Really quick, we'll see if this actually worked. I have no idea if my user data actually worked, which it was pretty simple, so I hope that it did. But we'll know pretty immediately by just running this. And no, it did not. It's fine. We'll log into them and we will see what we can do. But let's get logged into our web server real quick. And first, I will show you the recreate method for doing deployments. All right, let's see. A networking project and cloud computing. OG Jake, I wish you found it then. Sorry about that. Being that we were gonna probably have yes, you will have a halfway point exam. Yes, there's a halfway point exam already done. I guess I should have gone out at the end of last week. It's done. I just never actually scheduled it in any of the days, so I can schedule it now. Again, it's not important. It's not like you got to do it right now. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Since I think it only covers, I don't think it has this information on it, so I can definitely schedule it to be released right after this. Everyone for Decoded though, I ran into some major problems with the GitHub Classroom. Some of you may have gotten invites though. It may have linked your like there's some integrations. It may have just linked your classroom to go to the GitHub Classroom. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Not a big deal. But yes, that's a great question about that. I'm glad you said that. I will put that out. It is 80 questions, just so you're aware. Lots of questions. A lot of repeat questions asked in a different way, just as Amazon Web Services like to do it. There are some questions that come almost directly off the exam, and there are other questions that are going to test you a little deeper than that. They're all multiple choice. So yeah, 100%. Cool. Let's do this. So let's log in our web server real quick. What time is it? 1 minute. All right, we stopped to do that, but I'm gonna get logged into this, and I'm gonna set up. We're gonna set up our load balancer. I don't know why I call this web server because that's not what it is. It's gonna be our load balancer. Oh, come on! Don't do that to me, Hyper. Copied. All right, so first thing, let's see if we can draw some stuff before we actually go in here. Let's see if the whiteboard actually works. So when the recreate is this. The recreate says, hey, the world is currently accessing, this is the world, whoa, this is the world right here, and they're at their computer, and they are currently accessing your server on this server right here, which is version 1. Pretty simple, nice and easy. Very simple thing. The goal of the recreate is again to simply X out of this, so now the user can't access anything, and then go over here and create basically a version 2, and then send the people over. Again, that means you have downtime. So yeah, let's just do that real quick. We're gonna do that with a single server, and we're not even gonna do it through a load balancer. Actually, this is probably the one that we don't need to get hands on with. But I can let's log into the load balancer really quick. What's happening? What? Oh, okay, there we go. Let's see where we are. Let's go to AWS keys. Let's SSH into, I'm sure you got some bash magic in a second too. Ubuntu at, let's get on in here into this load balancer server and apt update. I don't think I need to upgrade, so I can do I think I have to update before I install Nginx, and sudo apt install Nginx. So that should start it for me, and that should also I know you can't see the screen. Yeah, I know. I'm meaning to stay on my iPad for now. I just want to get this installed really quick. But what I want you to do is, once this happens, I'm going to give you the URL that you can all follow along with me at. But thanks for the heads up. So you should be able to click that, and you should get an Nginx page, I believe. I don't know. Let me check. Yeah, you should get an Nginx page. Actually, don't click that one because I think it pastes with HTTPS on the front. I think maybe just do this. Do that second one, and it should show you an Nginx page. Great. This is going to be the load balancer that we're going to be using. We're going to be using Nginx to basically reverse proxy to the other things, but we're going to get to use some of the things that we learned in the load balancing section. Things like weighted load balancing, mostly just weighted load balancing. But yeah, we'll get to use that to do some stuff. Cook the Ryan, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Thank you very much, much appreciated. Congratulations, Zaxquo, for getting the 1 month sub. You no longer have to deal with ads. And again, as someone who I despise watching ads, so I actually pay for YouTube Premium twice for 2 different email addresses, which is a mistake. I don't mean to do that. I need to get rid of it for one. But thank you very much for that. Okay, so we're looking at the iPad. This is the goal. We're gonna recreate the instance. So all this would be is, let's go back to Academy view. Imagine this welcome to Nginx was an entire application. Now, because mostly we've been looking at static websites, we don't have to worry about that thing I was talking about called state. And state is very important. Something I want you to kind of log into the back of your head that we've discussed, but don't necessarily need to really, truly dive into that right now. But static websites don't have that thing called state. There's no data that's being passed around or managed, so we don't have to worry about that. But imagine this was a different website. This welcome to Nginx page was a completely different page, and we wanted to deploy some updates to it. One of the ways, and this was actually a pretty common way at the beginning of cloud computing. This is also a relatively common way for people who still do have their own servers, have their own VMs and stuff. They're running ESXi and stuff, and because it's a little bit easier, they'll say, hey, this Nginx application that we have here, we need to make an update to it. basically go in, either destroy the entire instance, so right click and terminate, and then recreate a new server with the new stuff, and put that stuff on there, and have that stuff on there. Now you might be saying, why don't you just why would you do that when you can just upgrade the Nginx application? That's another deployment strategy that we'll get to in a second. But recreate, this usually happens when there are infrastructure changes that go along with your application changes. That is usually when this matters the most, or when people decide to do this. Again, it's a simple setup to do it. It's a very simple setup to do it. Why is it a simple setup to do it? Again, you don't have to set up any type of crazy automation and stuff. You are just taking what you currently have, getting rid of it, and basically recreating it simply with an update. I put this in here. I actually debated whether or not to put recreate in here. I think it's important to know about, but you'll likely with the cloud never do it exactly this way. You'll do something similar to recreate, but not exactly recreate. So that's why we're not even gonna do this. This is probably the one that you were thinking of and that you're probably going to want to do. So here is what we're going to do first. Before we get this, we'll talk about this. We'll get all of our servers set up to go through the rest of the things that we're about to go over. So the next one we're talking about is the Highlander or the Big Bang. They're a little bit different, but mostly the same. And this is when you update all of your systems at once. Now, when I say all of your systems, this is the one thing that people are usually new to this, are usually thinking in terms of one server or one service. Normally these systems have a lot of pieces to it, or maybe again 10 load balance servers, 20 load balance servers, and the Big Bang or the Highlander is updating all of those systems at once. And let's see what that looks like. But that's when you update all the systems at once. It's simple setup, and it's also the most common. Again, it's and that's a broad statement, but it is still the most common. Things are changing, but you don't need to worry about state here either, because you're making the update to all of them at the same time, but you're also at risk for downtime. You'll probably have downtime. So the difference between this and the last one is that you are not tearing down these servers or services. You are simply updating them in place, right where they are. And again, this usually incurs downtime. So if you're someone who plays games, if you're someone, when you get that midnight maintenance notice and you can't log into the application, that's usually because they're doing something like this. And maybe they're not doing exactly this, but they're updating those systems in place, usually when that happens. And again, it's a simple setup, which is kind of nice. So let's see what that looks like. Let's set up all of our systems real quick. Maybe we'll write a quick bash script really quick. All my instances are running when I log in AWS. I always make sure to stop. Oh, they shouldn't be running as soon as you get in. They should be down. If you right click and stop them, it should be down. What's up, Cruisability? Let's see if we can write a quick bash script. I haven't gotten to write a bash script in forever. But let's log out of the server really quick. We have 6 servers. I wonder, let's see. I'm trying to think if it's worth it to write a quick script to SCP a bunch of files up to these servers. Yeah, let me do that really quick. Let's do that. So that we don't have to keep doing certain things. So here's what we're gonna do. And again, because I think we have more than enough time to do it, and it'll make our lives a little bit easier. Let's go to HTML5 up .net, and let's grab at least one site to start with, that we can use as our application, and so we can talk about these things. So let's do read only. Let's get that free download here. I'm actually going to download it to my computer instead of the systems right now. What do we are, I'll just put it, I'm gonna put it in AWS keys for now. So download this here. This is going to be our site. So our site's going to look like whatever that is. So what do we need to do? Let's grab all of these web servers and their IP addresses. Actually, I'm gonna do it a different way. I'm gonna show you, just to show you guys some extra stuff. I think we may have talked about it here, but there's something called a host file, and what this does is this allows me to set some aliases for website for stuff. So I'm going, whoa, I did not mean to do that. What I'm gonna do is in here to make even the script easier, I'm gonna copy these IP addresses, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna bypass something called DNS, just to make things a little bit easier for us. So I'm gonna call this web1. So basically, whenever I type in web1 as a web address, it's going to know to go to this IP address. I'm basically, this is my local DNS that I'm setting up here, just to make our lives a little bit easier. And I could also write a script to do this piece, to grab this information and put it in my host file. I've done that before, but that's going to take longer than just doing this. So we'll just do this real quick. Why does it keep doing that? 3 copy. This VM is real weird. I'm definitely gonna go back to the laptop, just because of the way the mouse and keyboard interacts is like really weird. And we probably could have got away with 4 servers here, but I think all of the stuff is going to make it's going to feel cooler doing it with 6, to be honest, and make it a little bit clearer what's happening. And as soon as I'm done doing this, you'll see why this is important. Undo, whoa, undo, go up to 7, web 5, and one more. And I'm gonna do our load balancer as well. Maybe, I don't really need to, but I will. Anyway, v web 6. And now one of the problems with this is already is that, well, no, that's gonna confuse you. So we'll hold off on that for a second. I want to get a little bit farther. And I'm just gonna call this load balancer. Okay, so I basically just made it right now so that I can type in, again, if I want to get into web 1, I can type in web 1 without having to refer back to the IP address, because we're gonna be logging in and out of these servers. It makes it a little bit easier. I can name these whatever I wanted, but it's gonna make it a little bit easier for me to do. That's whack. It's not gonna let me save it because I did not sudo it. I really hope I can yank that. So I tried to yank it, and I also tried to, will it do it if I do? Never remember if this works or not. Okay, so I'm gonna exit it, and hopefully it's gonna allow me to, whoops, come on. Yeah, that one. Come on, paste. No, it did not let me do it. That's very annoying, but I'll do it again. It's not a big deal. I'll do it again. I want to get a programming. Got any tips? Great question, Cruisability. 1, start simple. To be honest, start simple. Don't people dive in too far. I think that people put too much pressure on themselves when they're getting into programming. They watch a video that starts off with, all right, we're gonna do FizzBuzz first, and I think that's a little bit deep. I think, I've seen people who have been learning how to program for 1 week and are already trying to build like a blackjack game or some kind of card game, or or even tic-tac-toe or something. And I think that is too fast if you're trying to do it on your own. Start slow. I can give you, you can check out my my YouTube. There's an intro to programming with Python course that I think starts I think runs at a good pace. I'm not saying it's the best programming class out there at all, but I do think the pacing in the beginning will get you started pretty well, or you can go back and catch on the beginning of Decoded for this. But again, hit exclamation point YouTube, and there are playlists up for that if you want to follow along. For programming, we're doing an intro to computer science currently, so I would check that out. But also, like, don't be afraid. Understand that everybody, everyone's journey is different. And you'll do it. You can definitely get it. Do you store PIMs in a private repo? No, I do not. You should not store your security keys. You shouldn't do that. You should only keep them locally, to be honest. Maybe back them up, somewhere super secure. If you're gonna put them, in an S3 bucket or something, which I do not recommend, make sure that it is or any kind of cloud backup. Make sure it is encrypted, preferably some kind of zero knowledge one like Spider Oak. But no, I do not put them in private repos. Conversation ready. What I missed? You didn't miss anything yet? Nothing yet. We're just talking about some different deployment types. I remember that lots of times. I had to configure my VMRC. Oh yeah, to copy the computer clipboard. Yeah, I thought mine was set up for that, but I guess it wasn't. But it's okay. Watch what we're gonna do. I also need to grab you know what? Instead of just saying we're gonna do something, let's just do it while we're thinking about it. So best Linux clipboard manager, because this will help me do it in one fell swoop right now. CopyQ. I've never used CopyQ before, but we're about to use CopyQ really quick. Clipboard managers are nice. What they do is they save a history of the things that you copied, and you can refer to them. I used to use one all the time. I don't know why I stopped, but I used to use it all the time. Let's see. I think I used Clipper before, but Gpaste. I just want a simple one. Let's see. Can I just do, if I can't install it with the first command that I run, then I won't install one. Sudo apt install copy q. Come on, copy q. Nice. It's here. I don't know how to use it, but we're about to find out real fast. But they are nice. I wouldn't have to go back and recopy anything once I get it. I wonder if it's a desktop app. Copy Q. It is. I wonder what the hotkeys are for it. Ooh, nice. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Now that I have it installed, I should be able to do this. I should be able to, grab. Whoa. I should be able to. What just happened? Where did oh, here. I pulled it out of here. Okay, so copy the clipboard. I should be able to copy the clipboard. Come on, copy the clipboard. Please work. Copy the clipboard. Copy the clipboard. And last one, copy the clipboard. All right, so now they're all here. And it shows me the order in which I copied them, the reverse order in which I copied them. Check this out for anyone who's using anyone who's in Decoded. You should already see some interesting things here, and it should already be going around in your mind. The newest one that we added in was starts at 0. I would have started number 0, 0 through 4, even though I copied 5 things, or I feel like I should have copied 6 things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, did I not do 1? I can find out. It was 5.2, the last one. Oh, maybe it just doesn't show more than that. Let's see, preferences really quick. Let me make sure I can do more than just that. History. Okay, I can do 200. Is there a tab for storing clipboard? How do I show the clipboard? Show hide. Is there a shortcut? Show hide main nav, show hide trade menu, show main, show action dialog. How do I show and hide main window? What is this? Show and hide window. That doesn't feel like what I want. I'm just trying to figure out how to use it, which I probably don't need to. I can probably just click here. Clipboard. Just trying to learn how to use Nap on the fly, and I think I broke everything because okay, I couldn't get out of there. It shows 5 items, even though I need 6. Interesting. So I skipped one. No big deal. But this is nice. We have it. So which one? Well, we will did I do all 6? Looking here again. 230 186. Let's go back up the list really quick. This one is 541 201. This is the one. No, we have that one right here, which makes sense. 157, that should be this one. 188, that looks right. Web server 3 should be, what's that, 5211810. Web server 2 is 230, and web server 1 is obviously not on here, so we'll copy that now, and hopefully that stays in the history. Okay, and I'm just going to use that. I wish I knew the key shortcut for this. I wish it would show me really quick. I'm sure it's pretty easy, but let's do this. Sudo vim/etc hosts, not hots. We want to do sudo vim/etc hosts. We're gonna make this a lot easier. And again, I'm gonna abort that. Whoa, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. First off, I hate when it creates these stupid things here. rm-rf/etc what is it, .hosts.swap. There we go. What? All right, now let's sudo vim again. Okay, what? Oh, I spelled it wrong again. etc host with an S. All right, so what I'm gonna do is right at the top. Well, I'll put it right here again. And let's grab our first one, V, and I'll just run down the line. So that's what I just pasted to. How does the order go here? Yeah, okay, 3. Oh, that's gonna suck. 208. Where did 39? I don't like how it switches up the order on us. And 10 139 126 208 73.10. Okay, you gotta remove the swap option. I know. So the thing is, I don't know if I have not updated my vimrc here with my real vimrc, or I don't know if I accidentally overwrote my dot file of MRC that I'm keeping in version control with the one that we did here. I can't remember. I feel like I made a mistake somewhere, because it should be like I've already disabled all those things. My copy paste, I've handled all those things, but this has none of my settings apparently. So which one? Darn it! Which one is it not? It wasn't copying one. No, 139's in there, which means it probably now does not have. This is stupid. This is a dumb problem. 100.126. Yeah, 100.126. It probably doesn't have 230. Correct. I'm a genius. I'm the smartest person any of you have ever met, because I figured that out after clicking around 42 times to figure out that it was probably number 2 that it doesn't have. And again, doesn't really matter which one's which. I'm just gonna give them some names real quick. I'll tab it over. Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, Web 4, and I might have them all jumbled up now, but again, not a big deal. Web 5 and Web 6. Save it a little bit. So now what I can do is I can say, I don't even need to know the IP address. I can say SSH-I first instance.pm, and then I can say Ubuntu at Web1, which is all I have to do, and see how it takes it. I don't need to know the IP address anymore, which makes it really nice. I can always just call it Web1. Sudo apt. It should have already updated. Apt install nginx-y. Oh, it's already. So maybe all these actually work already. So now look, I can also do this here. Web1. Oh, HTTP Web1. HTTP://Web1. Look at that. And now we get an Nginx page. So actually all of my servers might have worked. HTTP, maybe I didn't give it enough time. Web 2. Yeah, okay. So here is what we're gonna do now. I want to get our application up to all of these servers first. I want to get the thing that we just downloaded up to all the servers first, because it'll be super nice. First, let's actually get logged into all of them, because I think that'll be important so that we have access to every single one. So we are logged into Web 1 right here. Actually, no, we're not gonna get logged into all of them. Let's get our file up there first. So how do I want to do this? I'm going to okay, their website. I'm gonna copy this in the website. I'm gonna go in the website. I'm gonna unzip it. Unzip. All right, I'm glad I did that. So rm-rf. Okay, so this is going to be our application. This is going to be our website. If you want to see what this looks like, again, we can actually view this locally. We can view it right here, right here. If I click the index.html, it will load up our website. So our website will look exactly like this, but we'll be able to access this on Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, Web 4, Web 5, and Web 6, but not the load balancer. We're going to go through the load balancer in a second. We're just going to get everything set up so we can show you all these deployment paradigms pretty quickly after we get the original things set up. So I'm going to get these up here so that it all loads. And to do this, we can write a quick little bash script that I think should do it pretty easily. It might not, because we might not have permissions. Because we can't. All right, we'll try it anyway. Let's have some fun real quick, because it'll be easier to show everything if we can get this piece working. And we can definitely get it working, but let's try it with one real quick. What happens if we go to web? What are we in right now? We're in Web 1. Is that what I logged into? Yeah, we're in Web 1. So watch this real quick. Let's try to run a little bash command to get this stuff up here. And again, how do we move files up? I'm gonna go SCP dash I first. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. I can do that from here. SCP dash I dot slash first instance Ubuntu. All I'm trying to do right now is get these files up to the server. I'm trying to deploy these files initially the old boring way, and so we're going to do this to Web 1, and these need to go to slash var slash www slash html scp dash I dot. I also think I need a dash R as well for recursive. And let's see if that works. File name. I thought if I did recursive, it would do everything here. Can I do rsync this way? Rsync, but I think I have to give it a different, I think I have to give it a dash H. Let's see this real quick. Okay. How do you rsync over SSH? No big deal. I know I can do this with SCP, multiple files. Let's Google real quick. Don't remember, because I don't operate like this anymore. Username. Oh, that's gross. Okay, hold on. Rsync over SSH with key. Here we go. We're just trying to get some files up. We're trying to see if this is the easiest way, but I don't think it's going to be the easiest way. I don't need to know this. Yeah, there we go. AZV. Oh, this is gross. AZV-E. Let's see. Not what we want. Specify identity file. I've actually never rsynced with a key before because it's whack. Oh, you can just give it the SSH. Okay, let's see if this works. If it doesn't work, we will from dir to dir. Okay, let's see if this works. Actually, I just want this and this. I'm cool with that. Where does it actually only goes around the key. Let's see if we can dash I. Let's see if this works. Oh baby, that worked. It did work. We got an error. This is great. So what this allowed us to do is, remember we were doing that S3 sync command. Remember we were syncing the S3 bucket to our local computer and back up when we were working with those files. rsync is a Linux command that allows you to do the same functionality. It allows you to sync different directories. And so I'm using rsync to basically sync my local directory with that above directory. It's giving me a permission denied, which it should actually. And the reason it's giving me a permission denied is because on the server, if I actually go to var www HTML, HTML is owned by root. I'm going to chown dash r chown dash r ubuntu HTML capital R. I'm gonna change the permissions so that I'm the owner. Sudo, and I could have done a sudo bang bang. All right, so let's see if that command works this time. And if it does, we can write ourselves a little quick script. Okay, that worked. So now here, if I go into the HTML directory, I have files here. And now if I actually go to web 1, that's web 2, web 1, and I refresh it, look at that. We did a lot of work there to get our application deployed to our computer. So web 1 has it, but web 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 still have the default Nginx pages. How can we set this up in a way where we can do this over and over again? And the way that we're going to do that real quick is I'm going to copy that command that we just had. And I'm gonna start to introduce you to the world of automation a little bit. Yeah, I'm starting to introduce you to the world of automation a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna make a little bash script here. So vim, I'm gonna call it deploy. We're gonna make a little deploy script here. And I'm gonna paste in, oh darn it. What is, oh my gosh. This keyboard is like, it's not accepting my inputs when I press them. It's like a little delayed and I keep doing things out of order. All right, so we're gonna make a little automation script here so that we can copy all of the files at once up to the servers that we want to copy them to. And so I'm gonna use a for loop here. I'm gonna use a for loop here and I'm going to declare -a. Basically, I'm gonna declare an array. And I'm looking at something here to do this because I never remember how to use arrays in bash because I haven't done bash in a while. And I think I can do web 1, web 2, web 3. Actually, in bash there's no, I think it's just a space. That's all you need. And if there's just a space, then I can grab this and I can do that. What's this, 4, 5, and one more, which is 6. Okay, so this is going to be our array. And basically, so that we can you can start script by making sure you're using sudo root. I can, but I don't need to. So you saying with rsync, I actually don't think that would work, because it is the rsync is SSHing in as the user which you specify. But maybe we can do that. Either way, we'll try that actually, and see if that works. You know, we'll just try it with web 2 really quick, because I need to copy that command anyway. Maybe. Oh, whoops. Oh, because I sent it to web 1, so I just copied up my file. I want web 2. And I'm gonna have to add an exclude. Yeah, it's gonna get permission denied every time. I'm gonna need to log in to each of those servers and make those file changes, because again, it's logging in as that user. Oh, okay. Then echo, please run as root. But yes, yes, I could. That might not be useful, because again, the script is being run. The script is going to be run from here. It's not being run remotely. I mean, it's being run remotely, but we can add in a little more functionality like that. We're just trying to make it easy for us to upload things really quick. So I do want to copy this rsync command really quick because we're going to need it. And what do I want here? I want to copy this. See. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for oh my gosh, for I in array. I think I have to do a little, yeah, there we go. What is it? I know arrays are so annoying to deal with inside of Bash. And it's amazing how you can work with something for so many years and then forget all of the little syntax and everything that you need to do something. So I'm going to basically do this, the command that we ran, and I'm going to put what is it? Can I do it this way? $I feels like that won't be it, but we'll see if that works. I don't think that'll be it. Oh, where's the $? Yeah, there we go. I think I'm gonna have to like interpolate that a little bit better, but we'll see. And then I'm just gonna be done with that. So what this script is gonna do is it's gonna run through this list right here, and it's basically gonna run this command for each of the things that are up here. So I know it may look crazy, not important. Again, just doing a little automation here so I don't have to keep manually updating these things. So watch this. If we do this, and I should exclude this deploy script file, but whatever. We're just gonna see what happens. It's not important right now. Chmod plus X. It's actually kind of fun. I haven't done any what? Oh, I'm on the server. Whoops. I haven't done any like real like Linux administration stuff in a while. Oh no, I edited that on the wrong place. Whack. Did I actually? Oh no, that's right. Okay. So I'm gonna chmod plus X deploy.sh, and I'm gonna run this, and it should go through all 6 of those, and it should run that rsync and upload everything to those services. Now it's gonna fail on every single one of the servers. It's gonna fail on every single one. One except for one, because I need to go in and change those permissions real quick. But I just want to see if it runs. And incremental list to 1, but it did not. Whoops. It doesn't look like it tried any more than 1. Oh, this is why, because I said for I in array 0. I don't know why I did that. Is that what they put? Yeah, that's what they put. Array at is what I need. That was my bad. Not a 0. There we go. Whoops, didn't need to do that again. All right, and so it's gonna go through, and it's trying to do this to all the rest of them. But look at this. I'm getting these permission denied, but our script is working, so this is nice. Whoops, I did not type in yes. So I need to log into each of these servers really quick to change that. But what this means now is we'll be able to get code updates out to our computers faster. We're gonna be able to modify the script in a little bit to be able to change that up as well. So last thing we're gonna do is we are going to log into each of those servers really quick and make sure our stuff is fine. So what we'll do is we will SSH, and I also could set up in my SSH config, so that I wouldn't have to do this. But again, that's a lot of setup for a short amount of time. Ubuntu at web 2, And let me copy this. And I'm gonna do this, which is gonna be web 3. This would be so much easier if I wasn't getting like all this delay from what I'm typing in. Web 4, tab, B, web 5, and T, Control T. Does not let me do anymore. Control Shift T. There we go. It is slow. Okay. And web server 6. Yes. And the thing I want to run on all of them is shown. I'm gonna do a -r/var www html. This is the command I want. So I'm changing the Ubuntu user to be the person who owns all this stuff. Sudo. This is the command I actually want. And let's paste this. Let's paste this. Let's paste this. And let's paste this. So now if I run this command again, you can see I'm not getting these permission denied errors, and that everything is now going up. So now if I type in, and I can paste to you the addresses to all these servers, but if I do web 1, if I do web 2 looks good. 3, whoops, http:// web3. What? Oh, typed that in wrong. Web 3. All right, so let's just do 6 as well, so we can believe it worked. All of them have this application. So right now we're gonna level set as now we have V1 of our application now, so that you guys don't have to go to each of these servers. This is what we're about to do real quick. All we need to do is set up our load balancer, and once we set up our load balancer, we will now be able to run through an example of all the deployment patterns that you've learned and haven't learned. You haven't learned most of them yet, but again, we will have time to do it. Whoops. So let's just set up our load balancer really quick as well. And all our load balancers are going to do is it's going to reverse proxy to all of those servers. And so let's log into our load balancer here. Actually, I think I typed that in, so I think I can do /i first. What am I? Ubuntu at load balancer. I didn't type that in correctly. Load balancer. Maybe that's not what I cat /sc hosts. I thought I put it in there, but I must have put it in there the first time. No biggie. What's up, Kessor? How are you doing tonight? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Kessor's raiders. Welcome to the channel. How you doing tonight? I'll give you a little shout out here. Exclamation point. We're just doing a little bit of AWS work tonight. We're learning about deployment strategies. Before we can learn about those deployment strategies, we can learn about them, but hopefully seeing them in action will feel a little bit better. So right now we're getting a manual load balancer set up, not a cloud load balancer. I know people are gonna be like, why aren't you just using Amazon's load balancers? Again, it's for the flexibility and the speed in which we can do it with Nginx, and again the visuals of it. But we're just talking about different deployment patterns and deployment methodologies and how you would go about getting new software, new infrastructure out to the people who need it. So what were you doing tonight? What was going on over in Kessor 6 land? We are grabbing IP address here, IP address right here, and we're gonna paste this in. All right, so that's here. We're logged in. Nginx is already installed on here. I always just grab this Nginx reverse proxy. It's pretty easy. I just need to grab the config that I need. Nginx load balancer. I just need the little thing about the pools is what I want them to give me, which they will, because I Google it every time to start. Yeah, here we go. Upstream backend. No, what is it doing? Yeah, this is what come on. This is like, is it just gonna infinitely reload? Every time I scroll down, it just reloads the page. Yep, okay, we're getting off of this site right now, because that's super weird. Super weird. There we go, Nginx, thank you. This is what we need to create that little Nginx pool that I was talking about, so we can set this upstream right here. So we're gonna do this on our load balancer really quick. And how do I want to do this? What's the best way? First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a host file here as well, just to make our stuff more readable. And I'm going to copy from my own computer's host file real quick. This should work just fine. So I'm going to cat slash /etc hosts. And I should just be able to grab these 6 servers, and I'm gonna copy them, and I'm gonna head over to here, and I'm gonna paste them. And I forgot to sudo again, so sudo. I hope it doesn't vim /etc host. Go up to line 2. All right, so I have them here as well, so this works just fine. Here, I could also give this to all of you if you wanted to do the same. But what I will then do is I'll mess with the Nginx config. So etc Nginx, what is it? Com sites available, I believe is what I want, and default. And what I think I want is, I always get this wrong too, right above the server listen, I think I want the upstream. Oh, whoops. Should have tabbed it out. Ugh, that was kind of nasty. And I hate when I have a Vim instance that I don't have like all of my stuff in, because it makes it a little bit harder. But let's see. And instead of, so my location block server, oh no, I need to go above this. So server block inside of it is going to be, I wonder if I should create a different thing for this. Or if I should just steal this. You know, I'm gonna see what happens real quick. I'm just gonna steal exactly this. And I'm not gonna change this. And I'm gonna copy, so Etsy, Nginx, sites available. And I'm going to copy default to default dot backup. Oops. Come on. I should just sudo root, honestly. Sudo vim default. And this has a server. I'm going to delete into the end of the file. Whoa. Guys, I don't need it. I don't need it. And let's see if this works. It might not be a valid Nginx configuration, but what I'll do here is just to test it, I'll do web 1 If not, I'll go in and check our other configuration. I've gotten so lazy lately. I need to check out something. We'll explain what's happening here. And I know this isn't this is definitely not everything. I don't have nerd tree, darn it. I know I'm missing something, which is going to be, let's take a look at the default dot back really quick. I know I'm missing something for sure. I might need that base stuff, but how does it know to use the default? I think it gets fine without the root. I don't see any includes in here. That's probably done in the main nginx conf. Is that what I'm not editing the main nginx conf. So the main nginx conf is back one, and I think that has the includes in it. I think this will have all the main stuff. You include HTTP from HTTP, that won't work. Just remove the HTTP and its brackets. Oh, okay, yeah. I gotcha. Oops. Vim default. And then I have to get everything over, right? And I never remember how do you do let's see, what is it, this one? Oh, what is that? Whoa. Oh, that's the gedit for this. What is it? Control, there we go. Place that for a minute. Yeah, so we're not setting up the Big Bang. Yes, we are still setting up the Big Bang, but we're setting up the paradigm for all of them to be done. There's a fair amount of setup to get all of them up to be done. So we're just gonna get them all set up real quick. And we're almost there now. We're just setting up the load balancer. And I should have I don't know why I didn't outdent all of these at the same time, but I already started down this pathway. Yes, I know this outdents. The only problem is I don't like to do default outdents and indents on default Vim, because I've found it to cause a number of problems. But we'll see what happens. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Okay. This should save though if I copy. I'm suing to root. I'm suing to root. Let's see, nginx sites available. Okay, well, this is like the same thing, but I wonder what happens if again, let's go back, DG, and I paste. It does work. Let's see what happens. Service, nginx. I think I just do like an nginx, nginx has a way to test the config. What is it, -t? These are just things you don't need to do anymore. Unexpected on line 13. And is this 13? Oh yeah, I have one. No, that's right. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think this is right. These dots do look suspicious. I'm gonna just do this and hope this works. Okay, now it's okay. So see, that's why I didn't like to do the outdent and indent, because of the on a default Vim instance that I haven't put my touches on, because it does stuff like that. Because that came in with the double with the little arrow thing, which is super annoying. Sudo. Oh, I'm already root. So service, nginx, was it reload? Okay, so now what basically should happen is when I hit this default service through the load balancer URL, what should happen is we have not installed anything on the load balancer server, but it should proxy us through to to each of the web servers. which it does. And when we're reloading, we can't tell that we're getting different applications, but we are. This is proxying through 5 or 6 different servers, and we can probably see through tail-f/etc nginx, no, not st nginx, varlog tail-f/var log nginx access log. Should give us some stuff. Maybe it'll show us what it's proxying through. 166.201.201. Let's do it. Let's hit it again. We only give it 3 servers, so let's actually fix that really quick. Let's give it the rest of the servers. Oh, and I have web 2 in here twice, don't I? Yep, I have web 2 in here twice, which is a mistake. Yank 1 2 3. 4 5. Okay, now we have this infamous load balancer that we've been talking about. And if I tell this again and I start hitting this endpoint, which you can also hit, where is it? I lost it already. Which is this. You can probably see it hitting different things. Is this considered old now since you should be using EKS and scaling with web replicas? Yes. You should not be using EKS. Well, maybe you should be using EKS. I debate people all day about Kubernetes on the usefulness of Kubernetes depending on your application scale and size. Even though Kubernetes I do think is great, I think it's excellent. Yes, I'm showing everyone the old way because it makes more sense in the old way. It's a little bit simpler to comprehend, but what you can see here is I'm probably showing it hitting, it should be showing it hitting different servers, but it should be hitting different stuff as people are hitting these things. Yeah, it should be. I think this is the actual, it's not going to show it because it's not going to show what it proxy through to. It's just going to show the URL of this server, but no big deal. Again, you guys can hit that, remove, oh yeah, it shouldn't have HTTPS, but we now have one load balancer and 6 servers behind that load balancer with version 1 of an application. So make sure that's super important. We are on version 1 of the application. So now we can actually get back to learning about what we wanted to learn about. And again, back to the whiteboard. Remember, the recreate that we talked about is simply this one. It is simply removing version 1. If we had version 1 right now, the way it's set up now, it will basically be tearing those 6 servers down and spinning up 6 new servers, or tearing down the underlying processes that are running like Nginx and stuff, or whatever version of the thing we're changing, and removing that and replacing it with the new thing. Again, not a big deal on a static application, not a big deal at all, but for things that are stateful, this is good for. Static application, you probably wouldn't see any of the problems that you would normally associate with the recreate. So the Big Bang Highlander, let's see what that looks like right now. That is what we want. That's what we're talking about next, is this Big Bang, this Highlander. This is updating everything at once. Simple, most common. No need to worry about state, but you might have some downtime. Now with a static application, we're not going to have any downtime, but what that would look like is this right here. Let's say our developers went in and they said, hey, let's make some changes to the website, and they went into the index.html and they said, all right, things need to change here, and the logo is now, instead of saying Willis Corto, it's now gonna say Balake, because that is it's Blake, but how do you say Balake phonetically? Say Balake. And we'll say that's what it's supposed to say now instead of what we had before. A Big Bang deployment would be this right here. It would be saying, all right, we got a brand new version of the application. We have 6 services running, 6 servers running this application. Let's update them all at once. And again, this is a very simple deploy because these are static files, but if it was an application, we need to push a lot of different things, restart services, things like that. But using our deploy script now that we made changes, if I run /deploy.sh, it's uploading And also notice how rsync is only uploading this index.html because it's the only thing that's changed. But now if you start to hit that endpoint now, you'll see now it does say Balake, and every server right now has Balake on here. Every single one that's behind the load balancer has Balake on there. So we did a big bang. We updated the whole application at once. Now, what you've just learned is that for a static website like this one, that will not be an issue. There will not be any downtime for that. But depending on the application, there may be downtime because, again, a lot of times you have to restart services, you have to move things around, and to manage that state, you have to do things a little bit differently. And so that often requires, a notice of a short outage. Now, whether or not that's a good thing or not depends on your entire setup. So it's just important to know about these things because every situation is different. Some people say this is the best way to do everything. Other people say you should never have to do anything like this again. But that is a Big Bang update. Highlander/Big Bang update. Now, very simple. Obviously, we start with the easiest ones, the most simple to understand. But now we're going to get into the deeper, darker deployments, the ones that are a little more strategic, the ones that have a little more orchestration, that aren't so simple. The setup isn't as simple for them, and see what those look like. Canary. This one is exciting. Canary got a little bit of Tweety Bird over here. If you did not know, Tweety Bird, I believe, is a canary. But yeah. Go Lambda and push those HTTP across the API gateway. Yep, I agree. I'm a much larger proponent of Lambda and API gateway. Well, I have my gripes with API gateway, but I'm a bigger proponent of that than I am for. I'd rather have no things to manage than containers. Containers can be pretty finicky, and Fargate is very expensive. So. Yeah, I love the API gateway Lambda stuff if at all possible. You will likely see in the future when we're building some things, like that's going to be if we can do it that way. If it makes sense to do it that way, I will 100% do it that way. Yep, I can add those. I can change the logs to log that for sure. Rest play, need to worry about state. How does rest play into it and the need to worry about state? That is that's an interesting question. A very interesting question. And it looks like perfect. I think Kessler answered it. Yes. You need to save that state in another place, whether that be something like a Redis cache, whether that be something like DynamoDB. That state generally needs to be saved for that thing, for that to work. And state is I didn't want to dive too deep into state because managing state, kind of understanding how to handle state during deployments is that's for the journeyman level of the course. I think more so than this one. They won't ask you anything about this on the beginner, on the cloud practitioner exam. Nothing about state will be on there. There'll be a little bit of stuff about different deployment types, but mostly some of the bigger ones that I'm going to tell you about shortly. Oh yes, yes, perfect. Thank you, Boba Cat. So this is what I remember. I don't know if it's right. I'm pretty sure it's right, and I'm glad you said that because you just brought back memories. Canary deployments. So first off, let's just read what it is, and then I'll tell you what I think it like what the history came from. Canary, you cut over a bit of traffic, and think about this by weight. We talked about different load balancing types. This is by weight, so you can have a server that is weighted a certain amount more than the others or less than the others. Once you're confident things are going well, like so you send a little bit of traffic over, just a little bit of traffic over to version 2 of the application. So everything's running on version 1. You send a bit of traffic over to version 2, test the waters, look at the metrics, make sure things are going right, and then once everything's good, you cut over the rest of your servers. So that Canary server is the test. And again, some of the things about it is it's kind of slow to roll out. So it does lengthen your deployment time because you kind of got to wait for those metrics and things before you move on. But it is easy to abort if there are problems. You've only cut over a bit of your traffic, and it's easy to revert that one server, which is nice. And then you can collect metrics on a small subset of users, which is nice for testing purposes, and to kind of see something in the real world without huge major impacts. Now, what I remember about the origin of this, because I was wondering what this meant as well, and I wanted a way to remember why it was called Canary servers. It obviously didn't work, because I'm just remembering this now, but I think it was for miners. I think in the mines, they used to take these canaries and release them into the mines, and the canaries would go in, and if there was methane, they would die. The canary would die, and that's how they would know the sections of the mines that were not to be moved into, or if there were any issues. I think that's what it is. Again, it is pretty dark. It's definitely pretty dark. I'm sure PETA would not appreciate this term, but or that miners were doing that and maybe still doing that. I have no idea. But yeah, it just means kind of don't go in, kind of test the waters for us, let us know what's going on, and we will follow accordingly. And that's exactly what this deployment type is. Get a little information, send the canary out, get some information, determine if it's okay to keep going, or turn around. And that's why they say easy to abort, easy to turn back if that canary should die or should be problematic. Now, the way that you can do that here is, let's make an update to a single server. Let's make an update to a single server. Let's make it to two of the servers. So a small set. We're gonna weight 2 of the servers differently than the rest, and let's give let's basically say there's a number of ways you can do this with the numbers. I remember the first time I ever did this, and I was super confused about properly weighting things and how things like this worked. But one of the ways we can do this is let's modify one server. So I think there's a server server 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. Woo. Okay, sorry about that. Allergies, not COVID. I'm telling you. We went for that bike ride yesterday. Me and my wife were dying. Allergies were killing us. And I went and sat outside with the dog today, killing me. I'm not generally super affected by allergies, but I know the pollen count yesterday was like crazy high, but it's super annoying. They have advanced electronic monitoring systems for the stuff now. Thankfully, yeah, dope. That's much better than canaries. The birds are just trying to have a little, trying to live, like everybody else. All right, get that air filter. I mean, whatever works. I need to get some Zyrtec or something. I've never been super bothered by allergies, but like it's been. Yesterday was like we were on that bike ride, and like I was really good for most of it, but like I was sneezing a little bit, and I can feel it. But like on the way back, when we were going back through the trees and stuff, after it got a little warmer, and I guess the pollen had a little more time to spread and have fun. Woo! HEPA filters. We'll check it out. I've heard good things about HEPA filters. Sure, 100%. Probably good too, because like dog dander and stuff as well probably will help out a lot. Okay, so let's make a change to 2 of the servers really quick. Let's make a change to which this is like 2 or 3, and so you can do it. I've seen people do this in a lot of interesting ways. I'm going to modify sudo vim /etc no, not Etsy, var www HTML. What is the index.html? Okay, so instead of it saying, what do we do? Blake? Where's Blake on here? Oh yeah, /Blake. Okay, only on this server, we are going to say, what were some other names they had on there? D-Nice, just to make it a little phonetic again, which is Denise, if you weren't aware. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna give that server, basically, we've gone ahead and we've deployed new code to that server. There is a server out there that now says D-Nice, and I'm gonna reload a couple times until we get it. Okay, that was pretty quick. 2 reloads and we got a D-Nice. We have 1 of those 6 servers that is that has D-Nice on it, and if I reload again, interesting, it is it's sticking me to that server much more than I thought, but no big deal. I think all of you are hitting it as well, which is probably attributing it to a little bit more. Yeah, it's probably attributed to that a little bit more for me getting D-Nice so many times. It could also be I shouldn't have any sticky sessions up, but I only changed it on 1. I kind of want to change all of the servers to make sure we're hitting all of them. And again, I could just change the IP. What I need to change in the yeah, let's what are y'all doing? Why are you posting so much stuff here? What's going on? Like, why are you posting? I'm surprised that it's still up, to be honest. Let's see. I mean, I guess web proxies don't really matter. That's pretty interesting. I don't know why you guys are posting so much stuff. Local honey, I'm in on the local honey. I need to talk about you don't get hay fever anymore. What is hay fever? Sounds, I don't even know what hay fever is, and I don't want it. Is that really a thing? Oh, I mean, that makes sense. It's very common. Yes. Okay. Like, oh, maybe I get this all the time. Maybe this sounds like, yes, this is what I was getting yesterday afternoon for sure. It's allergies. Okay, I didn't know that. There we go. Now, as someone who doesn't get allergies, now as an allergy professional, I will tell everyone when they're having hay fever fits. And that's what I'll call it, hay fever fits. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of we've been juicing and all kinds of other stuff. Juicing with a juicer, not with steroids. Just to be clear, you know, on the internet you have to be very, very clear about what you mean. We bought a juicer. Like I said, my wife is studying to be a nutritionist. So we've been like, you know, we're in all that fancy stuff now, and we will try the local honey. I'm in on the local honey. Honey's good. Okay, so you can see D-Nice is there. What you could do, I should be getting 6-1, but this makes me feel like it's only going to like 2 servers or something. Let's log this really quick. I never remember what to manually change. Nginx log. Hold on, let's see. Let me go back to here. Maybe I'm trying to think if I already remember what to do. This is the load balancer here. Let's vim default. Nginx log upstream server. Open this. I don't remember what to do here. Error log. Oh, change it to warn. Is that all I need to do? Nah, that can't be. Access logging. Enable the error log. Enable the access log. Associated log format. Upstream log directive. During startup, 2 functions are called. Logged values in the upstream. Okay. Let's do this really quick so we can see. So what did I say? I already forgot. Enable error log. When you enable the access log, those are already enabled. Our upstream solution didn't provide. Oh, this might be for handles upstream requests. Logged values from upstream. It's just HTTP request structure. No. Just give me the answer right now. Let's see. Nginx log upstream IP. Use upstream address and you will get example 8000 or okay. Where log upstream log so in the log format, they have it here too. Upstream response time, upstream address. Okay, let's do this really quick. Is everything in the Nginx conf by default in the main Nginx conf by default? Log, like the log format. I never remember where the log format is either. Let me see really quick. Available, so Nginx conf, set params, fast GGI, conf.d. It's in conf.d. I feel like it's in conf.d. There's nothing in conf.d. It's so crazy how far, like every time I'm doing something like this, it's so far how, like, it's crazy how far tech has come so fast. And like, this used to be the way. Like, this is how you would do everything. This is how you do everything. Like, you know, set up all your Nginx rules, and like, this is how you do load balancing. This is how everything would work. But now, you know, it's just different. Upstream log. I don't know where this goes. Nginx. Set log format. Can I just do it right in the main Nginx conf? I'm pretty sure I can. What is the default file? Access log, that's fine. The next for configuring the log format is, oh, log format name, and then set of variables to define format name. This is whack. Give me the whole, let me go back to see the full upstream. Oh, here they go. Log format. I don't really want all this, but this is what I want. Upstream time. Why would it? My access log would simply be this. Okay, which is fine. This seems really weird to me, actually, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I can, and then, you know, it's fine. Is the address in there? I don't see upstream. I don't need any of this stuff, to be honest. I don't want any of this. Let's see. Can I actually undo, delete inside, delete inside single quotes, user agent body, and I'm just gonna put in here, was it upstream address? I think it was. Is this right? Will this work? I don't know. We're gonna find out right now. And I think log format upstream time. Let's see. Upstream. Oh, that's the name of the log format. Now I just put upstream time at the end. Access log. This seems weird, actually, but let's see what happens. Nginx-t unknown upstream add variable. Oh, it's was it adder? Where was I seeing that? Oh, was it remote address? Was I fine? Was it upstream ADDR? Cool, that worked. Let's see if this works. All so we can get some information. A lot of work. Ooh. I wonder if that's because of all the posts that everyone's trying to do. Let's see. How do I get to the, what's the URL we were hitting? Not this. I'm confusing myself. All right, here we go. Let's grab this again. Balake. Are we getting anything back? This for, I can't tell if these 400s are all those posts. Oh, these are gets, but it's not giving me. I'm gonna have to change the address format to a different URL. I don't. Okay, all right, no big deal. But what you can see here is that Canary, again, because we're getting so many requests, I don't think it's giving us a, like, I'm refreshing, like, yeah, that's about right now. Now it's like every 6 refreshes or so, I'll get D-Nice in there. And this is what the Canary will do. You send a little bit of the traffic, just a little bit of the traffic over to this one server. So realistically, I wouldn't, like, I don't even need to change the weight or anything in the load balancer like this. I just need to change one of the servers. Now, a lot of times with the cloud, you're not going to be just changing a server like this. A lot of times you're going to be replacing the server, the entire thing. Remember those load balancer pools? So maybe we have 6 servers in the load balancer pool right now. We might add one of the new server into that load balancer pool. Deploy new version 2. That gets added to the load balancer pool. Traffic starts to filter there because it's a part of the load balancer. It's behind the load balancer. You can test, you can get the metrics back, and then once you're confident, once you feel good about things, you can move along. So that's Canary deployments. Those are nice, I guess, even though it sounds bad saying those are nice because of the history, but it is a good method when it's a good method to kind of get a good feel for things. Not something that, like, I wouldn't recommend doing Canary deployments for most, like, enterprise services and things like that nowadays, but it is a good thing to know about. So a little bit of traffic cut over by weight. Once you're confident things are going well, once you're confident things are working, cut over the rest. Now, A/B testing. A/B testing is similar to this. It is very similar to Canary deployments, but the method of doing so is actually much more precise, much more structured, and gives you a different amount of information. So what is A/B testing? A/B testing is having, going from version 1 to version 2, but you only cut over a bit of the traffic by a scenario rather than by weight. So by weight is kind of random. Anyone comes in at a certain time gets transitioned by the load balancer. But this is where you set up a scenario. That scenario might be something like, checking the cookies on the person's computer to see if they've been to certain pages and stuff to determine what they get. Geolocation is a way. So people in certain parts of the world, maybe you'll send them there. So A/B testing is a very common thing that happens all the time. You get A/B tested very often, guaranteed, where you are shown a different version of a site than someone else, and again, it's to see to start gathering very structured feedback. It's really a good tool to determine what is happening, what works best in certain scenarios, and figuring out what's going on. So and then once everything feels good, once you've determined whether or not A or B is better, you make all of the servers that version until you need to test the next version. A/B testing is nice because generally A/B testing is usually used in the way, like, it's usually used to determine which version is better. So it's usually used to figure out if you're making the right decisions while moving forward with an application, but it's a deployment method as well. And that is when you deploy 2 versions of the app, but the way that you determine who gets to go to that second one is not random by the load balancer. It is when you specify a scenario to do so. And now the problems with this not problems, but the things that are associated with this are that you need a smart load balancer to do this. So there are a lot of tools for this. Google can actually do it for you, but you need a normal load balancer cannot do this for you. You can't set up these scenarios with a regular load balancer. So you need a smart load balancer to do this. But you have a lot of control over the traffic and its distribution. So you have a whole lot of control over where the traffic goes and who goes where, which is really nice because you can, again, you're controlling the scenario. You can make sure that you're able to get the things that you want and make sure people are getting the place that you want them to be. But it is really difficult in doing this A/B testing to get solid observability, to really kind of understand what's happening and what's going on because of the nature of it. It's tough to have really good insight on how how things are working properly. Again, there are services and things that make this a lot easier, but it is notoriously difficult to not notorious. It just is a lot of overhead in kind of getting the information and gathering up the information around that. So that is A/B testing. We don't really need to. I mean, we don't have a smart load balancer, but again, it would actually be very similar to this. So maybe we have version 1 of the site. Maybe we have, you know, the site has Balake on it, and we want to know if people, you know, are people buying more when the site has Balake's name on it, or if it has D-Nice's name on it. And so we may say, all right, let's test out some few scenarios. Let's send D-Nice's name to, middle-aged women in the middle of the country. That's how it works. That's how marketing works. That's how these things work. And so you test scenarios like that to see what works when. And the good thing about it is it's an experiment, and you can make, you know, hypotheses, and you can configure those accordingly, and then you can change them. And this A/B testing deployment method, this is happening to you on Facebook constantly. This is happening like all the time to see like, all right, we've gathered enough metrics to say that people on the outside of the coast, you know, they're gonna want the new J's, they're gonna want the new MacBook, so we're gonna send those advertisements here, or we're gonna move these things to this side of the screen because they'll respond to advertisements better. That's because of the data they've gathered, and see if it's true. And if it's not true, they will adjust accordingly and do the same thing. So it's pretty interesting how these things work. And it also works just for the simple deployment. Even if you don't want to see what's better, you can send a certain subset of users to the newer version of the site. Make sure everything's good, just as you would have done kind of like a Canary deployment. Make sure everything's good, but you just have been more concise about which users get that new experience. And then once you've worked out all the kinks, once you're sure and confident everything's good, cut over everything else. We know some of this on the internal projects with the client. Yep. UX uses A/B testing all the time. Like, it is an important tool in UX and UI. Very important. Is this what is used when you can scroll through a site for free and get yes, more features if you make an account and pay for it? Sometimes yeah. Sometimes that is this. A lot of times they just have dumb things behind dumb paywalls, but yes, absolutely, it could be. They could use this type of deployment to do that. You certainly could achieve the same effect for that. Okay, so we're not gonna, no need for us, because we don't have a special load balancer, but again, very similar to the Canary deployment. And then on to, I think, the last two. What are we on slide? What happened? Okay, A/B testing. Rolling is nice. Rolling's cool. I really like rolling releases. All the people who've been talking about Kubernetes does rolling releases of new services, and it's really nice. But what is rolling? It is when you start to cut over one at a time until they're all done. And it's not waiting until one's good. It is, hey, we want to make sure we have all of our servers up and running and serving. So if I have 6 servers, what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll update server 1. Once that update is complete, I'll update server 2. Once that's complete, I'll update server 3. Once that's complete, 4, 5, and 6. So it's a very methodical approach to this. It's it can take a little bit of time, but it's a way to ensure that your services stay up. When we're talking about downtime, no downtime deployments, this is a possible way for you to have a no downtime deployment. But again, cut over one at a time until they're all done. It doesn't have to be one at a time. If you have lots of servers, it could be in chunks. But yeah, so one big thing is that you don't have any control over the traffic, really. Your load balancer kind of just handles it and sends to, splits the load amongst the servers, so people get to the new stuff when they get to the new stuff. It can take some time to deploy or roll back. So maybe you started to deploy one server at a time, and maybe it's a slow process. Maybe you have a deploy that takes 25 minutes per server. That takes some time. Now, if that goes through and maybe you have 30 servers, what happens if you guys notice there's an issue? You don't notice an issue until you get to server number 25, and you're like, oh no, we actually need to halt on this and roll back. Now you've got to wait the same amount of time for it to convert back. Those servers that have already converted to move back kind of one at a time, and those will roll. Basically, you do a rolling rollback as well. But it also slows the blast radius. Again, it makes it so that if an issue is discovered during the deployment process, all the servers have not received the problem. Also, you can pull servers out of the load balancer if you discover that servers that have been updated. but it slows the blast radius. It doesn't remove it. It just slowly gets bigger and bigger as new servers are updated in case there are any issues. But rolling is again, it's a good way to do things. Kubernetes does it this way. And so rolling would be like this. Rolling would be us saying, hey, we don't like dnice or balake. We want to update it to what's the fastest way to do this? Where's that rsync command? Let's say we actually want to do vim index. What did they call the principal? Was it Oshak Hennessy? It was the principal O'Shaughnessy. They called him Oshak Hennessy. That is who maybe we've determined that everyone actually likes Oshak Hennessy. All right. Is there two S's in Hennessy? I don't know. Yes, Oshak Hennessy. And that is what we actually want. And that's what's supposed to be out there. So rolling deployment would be this. I start with web one. So I grab this rsync command. And let's go out to web one first. And we say, all right, we've gone ahead. I don't need this. I need to remove the sudo from this deploy because I don't like it. And what? Why did it ask me that again? Oh, did I actually run sudo in the command? Yes, I did. How do I get to the beginning of the line? Control A. There we go. All right, so server one's updated, and you'd wait and you'd watch and you'd make sure that that the server successfully updates. You'd make sure the process becomes complete first. And so again, we can head back over and we can start reloading. And first load, I get Oshak Hennessy, DNI. So we still have a bunch of different ones. We got Balake on a bunch of them, but we got Oshak Hennessy on one, and we say, all right, that deployment finished, really nice. Everything's looking pretty good. So go ahead and roll it out to server number 2. And so now we have 2 servers out of 6 that are on version 2 and 4 servers that are still on version 1. And we hit it, we keep hitting it, and now we should probably see Oshak Hennessy twice as much as we saw it before. So I'm refreshing a few times. I am seeing it about twice as much. So it seems like it's actually going through one at a time. And you say, hey, number 2 looks good. Second server is done. We can see, in the console that everything's been updated, everything's going. Move on to server number 3. Now we're half and half now. We're at half and half. So about half of our refreshes should be Oshak Hennessy. And it is, in fact, about half of our refreshes that are Oshak Hennessy. And then we can do 4. And now about 60% of our servers are converted over. And, we're still doing this in a safe way. There's been no downtime. But some people are still getting the old stuff. But, now we're over the threshold and more people are getting the new stuff. And let's go 5. And number 5, now, we're getting almost all the servers. We should only be getting 1 Balake, as that's all we get. So no more denices, just Oshak Hennessy and Balake are left. And the last one, we do web server number 6. And we start to refresh, and we only have version 2 of our application. We only have the version that has Oshak Hennessy's name, and you've now done a full deployment of the application. Really nice. And refresh this. Oshak Hennessy. Why did he call that's first off, well, those guys they're clowns. But yeah, so now we've done a full deploy of our application. So we went from one version of the app to the next version of the app using rolling deployments, deploying one, making sure it's good, making sure it's up and comfortable, and moving on to the next server incrementally down the line. Now, if we got halfway through and we're like, oh no, Oshak Hennessy is spelled wrong, and we needed to make an update. Now it would make our deployment longer. We'd have to either roll back or fail forward or something. But again, those rolling updates can be kind of slow. Now, I did that manually. These are things that are automated. These deployment patterns are things that generally, oh, maybe they're automated, but that you may have to decide on one day. If you want to, if you're hopping into the cloud, you want to be a cloud practitioner, you want to start doing this stuff, you want to be a solutions architect, you want to be a DevOps engineer, you're going to have to decide on what deployment strategy makes the best sense for you, for your infrastructure, for your services once you get in there. So that's that one. Rolling blue green. This is the very last one. Blue green is my favorite, to be 100% honest with you. Blue green is my super favorite. And this is how we're gonna do blue green. We're gonna do this one a little bit differently. Blue green says deploy a complete new version alongside the current version. So this means I have 6 servers now. This means deploy 6 new servers with version 2 right alongside version 1. So got 6 version 1 servers. I got 6 Oshak Hennessy servers up. Now, what else did they have? The D-Nice, Balake, they had Aaron. We're not gonna use Aaron. They had Oshak Hennessy. What somebody give me another name. What else did they have in there? What was the teacher's name? There's gotta be one more. At least one more. They did a couple names because they also had 2 of them. Let's Google it real quick. Because if we're gonna do this, we gotta have a name. Substitute teacher. We did D-Nice. We did D-Nice already. Let's do teacher names. This is like, I hope it actually comes up. Okay, do I have to watch it? I guess I gotta watch it. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it or not. Give me some names in here. I think that's D-Nice, isn't it? Oh, Jay Quellen. There we go. Jay Quellen is what we'll use. Maybe the final instance of our application is going to be Jay Quellen for Jacqueline. So that's what we're gonna do. So blue green says, hey, go ahead, and since we have these sweet things called load balancers, where is it at? And actually, I'll show you. I'll draw it out because we got to practice our drawing skills. Because yeah, we gotta practice them. So we'll scroll down a little bit. Green and blue, blue-green deployments say this. All right, version. Here's a load balancer right here. I'm gonna draw a little. I'm gonna draw everyone else first. Accessing stuff. This is you. You're happy. You are on the interwebs. You're having a great time on the interwebs, and you're accessing cool stuff. And your request is going down through the sweet box that is the load balancer. It balances the load, and right now that load is going over to 6 blue servers, or green. I never remember which one's which, but that load is going over to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 V1s. All these are the version 1 servers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and all of the load is being bounced over there. All of the traffic is loading through there. It's being loaded through there. So the next thing what will basically happen is we deploy another set of servers over here, which are the green servers. And again, this may not be the green one, and the blue one might be wrong, whatever. But we want V2. We want to deploy V2. No traffic is going to V2, but we'll deploy. What? Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so right now you can see that nothing's going through that load balancer. Nothing's going through that load balancer right now. We deploy it. A lot of times you'll have some other method of checking the servers and making sure they're running first. So this is kind of the safest way as well. So you deploy it, and maybe you have some other load balancer over here or something, or you just have direct access to these servers and you test them. and you look at them, you make sure the deployment was good, you make sure the application is going to work as intended, you make sure everything is functioning properly. You can see it as it would be done in, like as it would be out in the real world. You can load test against it, you can do everything against it, because it is just like the current existing version of the site. And then when everything looks good, you shift traffic over here and you cut off traffic to here. So you spin up version 2, everybody's going over here. You spin up version 2 over here, you test it, make sure that everything looks good, and use that load balancer to say, all right, stop putting traffic over here and put it over to the new version of the application. And you do that back and forth. So next time you want to go up to version 3, next time you want to go up to V3, you do the same thing over here. You deploy it over here, test it, test, make sure everything is good, and then you put traffic over here and cut out traffic over there. And so you can keep pushing back and forth like that. It's really, really cool. It's again also it's not the best for every scenario, but for kind of some large scale applications, like it's just kind of safe. As someone who has like a ops background, like it's kind of the safest, most comfortable way for you to do it. You don't have to worry about getting stuff out there and being stressed out as you might be, because you've seen it. Like people have, been able to work with it and understand it. So it's kind of nice. So you deploy a completely new version alongside the current version. Use your load balancer to transfer over stuff once you're confident it's going to work. Cut over all traffic, and then you destroy the old version. I put a star by that because, depending on the way the infrastructure works, maybe you'll destroy it. Maybe you'll destroy it, or maybe you'll leave it up and you'll use that. But either one is kind of the same thing. But what are some of the caveats, or what's some good and bad about it? It's expensive. Because why? Because it's more expensive because now you have double the infrastructure. You end up working with double infrastructure, especially if you keep it up, especially if you keep this stuff up. You have double the infrastructure, so pretty expensive. Stateful deploys can be tough. Why can stateful deploys be tough? Let's say this right here has a little database. What's the database icon? It looks like this, I think. Oh yeah, I'm the best artist known to man. So as a database, maybe all these applications are working off a database. When you switch over to the other side, it can be tough to again continue that state. Someone brought up before having a state store, which is normally what you're going to do to manage that, or to be able to do it with zero downtime. Normally the goal of Green Blue is to avoid downtime. So sometimes maybe there's a small amount of interrupted access to the site, but usually you want to do your best to make sure there isn't, to make sure that state can stay up to date. And then instant rollout and rollback. Instant rollout and rollback is great because let's say we cut over back to version 3, maybe we cut over to version 3 of the site and we say, oh no, like this does not work, this is really problematic, we didn't take something into account, and you can simply cut right back over to the stuff that's still standing up. You leave it up for a little while just in case you need to cut back over, but if you need to cut over, you can simply cut back over to the infrastructure that still exists. So don't immediately tear it down, but that's kind of how it works. And stateful, state FUL, pertaining to or having state. And let's actually look at that. What is state? Probably in programming. I'm interested that they both came up in programming or cloud computing. Let's see what they say. A good way to explain it, because I'm just going to keep saying the word state in the definition, that's problematic. In computer science, the state of a program is defined as its condition regarding stored inputs. Yes, okay. The term state here is used similarly to how it is used in science, whereas the state of an object, for instance, as a gas or a liquid or solid, shows its current physical makeup. The state of a computer program shows its current values or content. And this is very important. So state is the only thing that makes deployments hard. And state is the I'm gonna go out like I'm I'm standing by that. Actually, like, state is the only thing that makes managing state is the only thing that makes deployments of applications difficult. If you don't have to manage state, it is pretty easy to do deployments, no matter how big the application is. Yeah, data saved on the actual machine besides what is required to run the program. Correct. Correct. It's really hard to explain to me. I think it took me a long time to understand what people meant by state, until I started learning about the application a little bit more when I was heavily on the app side. Like, I understood, but I didn't really understand. And it seemed like we could just like not worry about it, but it's super important. And it will cause major issues if you do not take it into account. What's up, Gene Fitch? We are simply working on learning about deployment strategies and deployment paradigms within the cloud. We're learning about cloud computing. We are, this is the apprentice level or beginner level of something called Horizons, which is a journey into cloud computing with AWS. There will be an intermediate and advanced course. It's called Journeyman and Master in the weeks after this. This is an 8-week course. But yeah, we're just learning about some deployment strategies. So what have we learned about? So like, this is actually really good. So obviously, you're gonna learn about other tools and things. Like right now, tonight, we did this. Actually, let's do a green blue real quick. Let's do a green blue with the time that we have, and then we'll kind of summarize all this. Let's see a green blue in action. And the way that I'm gonna do a green blue, the way that I'm gonna do the green blue is by simply, I'm going to cut it down into 3 servers and 3 servers. So web server 1, 2, and 3 are going to be our green servers, and 3, 4, and 5 are going to be our blue servers. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to use our load balancer over here, and I am going to, this is not our load balancer. This is our load balancer. And I'm going to Vim sites available default. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 4, 5, and 6 out of the pool. If they let me. What is going on? Okay, I'm gonna pull 4, 5, and 6 out of the pool. All right, so now our server only is running with 3. The full application runs on 3 things. All right, so I'm gonna reload it. You won't really be able to tell by me refreshing. This is what we'll do. We're gonna make a change to the site. Again, jQuellin is what we want. So jQuellin is who we want to be the version 2. And so what we'll do is we will Vim index. It looks good. I really don't like I'm really not liking ZSH, to be honest. It does weird tab completions, like when there's only one match. Sometimes it doesn't do it for me. So no more Oshak Hennessy. Version 1 of the application has Oshak Hennessy. Version 2 of this application will be jQuellin. And let's see how we're gonna spell jQuellin. I could just write Jacqueline, but no, we're gonna phonetically, we're gonna do jQuellin. We're gonna do, yeah, there we go. That just feels wrong, but also right at the same time. Oh man. All right, my bad. Screen. One day, first off, I'm just gonna say this. The day that I remember to go back and forth pretty easily will be a day that you all owe me a cookie, because I will be proud of myself. And when I'm proud of myself, I feel like everyone else needs to be proud of me as well. I might try fish out. I've never tried fish. I might try fish out, but jQuellin is what we're gonna do. jQuellin is version 2 of the application. So right now, if we head over to, you know, what we were refreshing, Oshak Hennessy's all we're gonna get. You're fresh all day, you're only gonna get Oshak Hennessy. That's V1 of our site, but we've upgraded to the infamous jQuellin, and we want to put that out on we're doing green blue green. So blue, actually let's look that up real quick. I have no idea which one's which. Blue, like, it feels like green should be the one that's up, but I feel like it's blue actually. So blue, green, deployments, color names. Nope. Blue, green, deployment. Can I type in like which? which is live. See, other people had this question too. Blue-green deployment, two identical environments, blue and green. At any time, only one of the environments is live. Okay, so I guess green is not okay. So they're not, one's not live and one's idle. They're just two different servers. Okay, cool. Well, at least from this example, I always got the inkling that one of the colors meant live and the other one didn't, but whatever. We'll just keep operating off of that, and that's not important at all. Okay, so what we'll do real quick is I'm going to modify our deploy script really quick to include. I only want to deploy to 4, 5, and 6. So 1, 2, and 3 are v1, and all I'm going to do here is remove this, and I made a change to that, and I'm going to run /deploy.sh, and it's going to go through and it's going to update. So we deployed the new code to our, you're looking at the green servers live. But you're looking at we just deployed to the blue servers, and I'm still refreshing. I deployed, but right now I am not getting jQuery like we want. So what would then happen is, now what I could do is I could go to those things individually. So I could say, all right, I know that I put it on web 3. I put it on I put it on web 4, 5, and 6. So I could head over to web 4 and I can confirm that this is working. So look, check that out. I can say, oh yeah, all right, the changes that we intended to make are now there. Looks really, really good. jQuery's right here. And I can do the same thing for 5 and 6 and make sure everything's good. jQuery's there. And is jQuery on web server 6? Yes, indeed. Oh no, look at that. jQuery is not on web server 6. I don't know if web server 6 was ever in the pool, because this says Willis Corto. Oh, that was weird. That was really weird. I refreshed. Yeah, okay, so jQuery is there as well. Nice and good. We saw a problem. It resolved itself, which is kind of nice. But now, how do you cut that over? How do I cut over this to now be my version 2, which is my jQuery servers? Use your load balancer to do that. And all I got to do in this case is say, all right, instead of web server 1, 2, and 3, head over to, and you can pre-do this, you can set this up. And so even now, I can still refresh, still not gonna do anything. And you can prime it and you can get your web server ready. And all I got to do now is I got to reload. And if I reload Nginx, reload it, we've just deployed from green to blue, and we now made the blue servers active. The 4, 5, and 6 are now active. And if I refresh to my load balancer, I get jQuery, and I get jQuery, and I get jQuery, and I only get jQuery, which is really nice. So again, so now I said you can also get easier rollback, and we can say, oh no, jQuery is also a brand that we didn't know about, and we're not allowed to use this name, and they've sent us a cease and desist immediately. Within 37 seconds of us putting up the site, we got a cease and desist letter from an official lawyer. And so we're like, oh no, we need to roll back. So how do we roll back? We go back in and we send our load balancer back to the other environment. We make the other environment now active. So I make 1, 2, and 3 now active again. And I reload, and just like that, I now have 3 servers that are giving me Oshak Hennessy as a thing. So I can move versions like that. If we need a new name, we can do, add 3 more servers and do the same thing. So that's everything. That is everything. So quick recap here. The tangible takeaways. We spent a lot of time just getting some servers set up just because we had the time. Quick tangible takeaways. Deployment strategies. All deployment strategies is all of the activities to make software system available for use, and the supporting system. So all the infrastructure that supports that software is getting those things in place to make it available for use, whether that be publicly or internally. We learned about recreate. Recreate is where you tear down the original and spin up a new one. This involves downtime. You tear it down first. Once it's torn down, you spin up the new one. Yeah, you probably don't need to do that, but something worth knowing about. Highlander, Big Bang, that's when you update all the servers at once. This may cause downtime. It's possible that it causes downtime, but if you do all the servers at once, you don't need to worry about statefulness. You don't need to worry about state. You can kind of just do it, but it could cause downtime, and it's it's the most common method of deployment is updating all of your resources all at once. Canary deployment is when you send in the Canary, you send the Canary down the mine, you take one server, you update, you send traffic to one updated server. So you move it from version 1 to version 2 of an app. You send a little bit of traffic over there. Usually you wait it through the load balancer, and you determine, you watch it, you collect metrics, make sure things are going well. And once you have some confidence, you roll out the stuff to the rest of the servers, you deploy to the rest of the servers. And that works because you can have some confidence that the application is working as intended or not before you go to do your deployment. It lowers the blast rate. It makes it so that if you run into issues, that you run into them early, and only a small amount of traffic is going to see those issues. A/B testing is when you have two versions of the site, and it's when it's kind of like Canary deployment, but instead of doing it by weight, you set up certain scenarios in which certain people are sent over to the new site through your load balancer. Again, this requires a smart load balancer. That's not a thing. A smart load balancer aren't a thing, but a type of load balancer that allows you to do some of these things. Some of the ways that you might do that is by geolocation. Maybe you say, hey, I want all the people in North America to go to one site, and I want all the people in South America to go to a different site, and I want to see how they each feel about these different things. And you can do it that way. And once you determine things are good, you can roll out to the rest of the servers as well. Rolling deployments, this is when you take a change and you change one piece of your system at a time, one server at a time, until it's all done. That's really, it's both good, and they all have their pros and their cons, but rolling releases make it relatively slow to get your full deployment out, depending on how long your deployment takes. It also may make rollback slower as well, but it slows the blast radius. It slows the earlier you can find out the failure, the better. But it gives you a chance to not, if you're deploying breaking changes for some reason or something, it gives you a chance to catch those and to not affect everyone all at once. With that, again, a lot of Kubernetes talk tonight, and Kubernetes does allow us for rolling deployments. And then blue green, which is the last one we just did, where you spin up an identical set of the infrastructure of the services of the application alongside the original version. So you spin up version 2 alongside version 1 with no traffic pointed at it. You do what you can to test, you access it. You get a lot of confidence out of this because you can actually test it where it lives. You're not testing it on some development server, you're testing it out in the wild where other people are going to be using it. You can confirm that it works, and then you use your load balancer to send traffic over to that new active server, and you make the other servers inactive. And then you can either tear those down or have those wait for the next version. Really nice because it gives you things like instant rollout and rollback. So immediately it's, once you roll out, it's immediate. Once you roll back, it's immediate. So very quick deployments when you actually do the cutover. But it can be very expensive depending on your setup. And it can be actually a little bit tough to set up. The setup of blue green can also be, can be rather cumbersome depending on your settings. Shown ELB and ALB2. We've done stuff with ELB. I did not do this with ELB purely because of the amount of time sometimes that it would take to do some of the things that we try to do. I think this is a little bit faster to run through as well. Usually you're going to be doing these things through ELB or ALB, ELB, ALB. And a lot of stuff in the cloud takes care of that for you. Yeah, but again, the concept is what's important, not necessarily that you know how to do it in the cloud, but the concept of the different deployment strategies are pretty important. But that's it. Like I said, that is, we actually finished a few minutes early, and I stretched it just to stretch it a little bit. We didn't actually need to get into all that, but these are very important to kind of just understand as you're kind of going through things. There are more deployment types than this, more deployment strategies that people use. A lot of the different pieces of the cloud allow for you to do fancy things. So people have made some pretty interesting ways of doing things as well. But these are just some of the more common ones that I think having a good understanding of these. One is, again, these are, I find that these type of things like this are high value conversations and interviews. talking about types of deployments and things, and why you prefer one or the other. I find that to be high value, especially if you're trying to do like a more of an entry level thing. I think it makes you sound like you really know what you're talking about. And again, for no matter where you're trying to land, if you're an executive trying to just understand the cloud, if you are project manager or something and you're trying to just get your hands on the cloud, understanding these things will really help you kind of approach some of those decisions and things that you need to make, along with the development team and engineers, as you work through these projects. But that's it. That's all we got for tonight. That's all we got. Pretty simple. I didn't get GitHub notification for the test. I was catching up on Decoded earlier today. Yes, no one did. I need to release the test. The test for here, the test for this one's not in Decoded. I mean, it's not in GitHub. For Decoded, the problem that I ran into, so some people might have gotten like some type of things telling you to link your Google Classroom to your GitHub Classroom, but I'm just going to release it. I'm just going to release a repo in Google Classroom because some of the things don't work how I thought they were working. I misunderstood how it was working, and I spent all that time trying to get it in there, and it will work. It will do what I wanted to do, but I just was using it wrong. So I'm just going to release the repo. It sucks because you're not going to get any instant feedback, but I will release that, as well as the mid-term test for this class. Let me make sure I have all the stuff in there for that. But like I said, it's a fairly lengthy thing, but again, there's no time limit on it. Take your time. It just covers the stuff that we went over. Ask some good questions. Ask them in a couple different ways, because you will, if you're taking any of the AWS exams, they will in fact ask you some same questions multiple times in a couple different ways. So kind of making sure that you understand coming at the question from different ways might be pretty helpful. But yeah, that's it for now. Also, for everyone who's not Decoded, I highly recommend that when we get here next week, we're going to be starting a 100 days of code next week. I encourage everyone, even if you're not doing code, if you're doing things within the cloud, I highly encourage you to participate in that, because you could learn the entire AWS CLI in 100 days. To be 100% honest, like, you could be the best AWS CLI practitioner in 100 days, or just 100 days of cloud, just doing something cloud related each day. Maybe we'll try to find some curate a list of things to do, but spending 100 days in a row, I've done 100 days of code before, and I did not do it successfully. But even in the amount of time that I did it in pieces. I did it for like 8 days, and then I did it for like 2 months, and then I think I took a month off, and so I really didn't do it. But doing something for 100, like focusing on practicing something for 100 straight days, that's a little over 3 months. It is an instant fast track to whatever you're trying to do. 3 months surprisingly goes by quick, and it's hopefully spending an hour a day, at least an hour a day, doing something like this. But it's super powerful, and I think it's a good way to really accelerate your learning, and getting yourself in a headspace where you can work on things that are fun, which is pretty exciting, and kind of going at your own pace. There's no pressure, there's nothing you have to do, and kind of just documenting that journey and being cognizant of where you've gone. Imgene, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully I didn't let you get too lost in, really, honestly, just go back over the slides. I tried to contextualize it by actually doing it hands-on manually. You don't need to know any of that stuff. Any of the stuff I was typing in, everything I did from the terminal, you do not need to know any of that stuff. The things that I want you to get out of tonight are purely the things from these 6 slides, really, because this is, 7 slides. That's what's important, not anything that I did at all. And so hopefully, ask any questions that you have about it. Let's see if we can clear up some of these things in terms of deployment strategies. But I have an inkling the things that we're going to be doing as we move on. We'll kind of be highlighting some of this stuff as well. So I think this is not the last time you'll see it. And maybe the things that we do will contextualize a little bit better, especially when we move into databases, which I think is on. That's the next thing we're doing. we can probably contextualize the stateful deploys a little bit with an app that's a little bit bigger than these static ones. What are we moving into? We are moving into Horizon. So we're moving into Apprentice. Oh no, on-prem, all of the databases are RDS. Yeah. So maybe we'll be able to contextualize some of that. Is there anything like the best development strategy? The best deployment strategies? Yeah, I mean, there really is no best, because it all depends on the way your application is written. Currently on the project that I work on, we run a microservice architecture. That means that our application isn't one thing, it is multiple pieces. It's a bunch of small applications making up one larger applications, and we actually have different deployment strategies for each of those different services. Like, so some things we can kind of do green blue, some things we do rolling, some things we do kind of the instant was it Highlander Big Bang. So there's no best deployment strategy, but it all depends on what you're doing. And that's why I tried to add a little bit of just a couple words of context. It's something that you'll kind of learn over time as well. And these are things that can change too. Like, these are strategies. So if you get somewhere and let's say you recommend, you start off doing something like this at the Big Bang, and you start to get go through things, and maybe it's fine for a little while, and then maybe a stakeholder says, hey, we can't have this much downtime anymore, we're gonna figure out a different way to deploy it. You can weigh your options, and you can say, all right, well, I think that blue green's the best for us, since we're used to doing one big update. Maybe it's gonna incur a little bit of cost, maybe we can go this route. Would you be able to show your architecture diagrams? Let me find out for you. I'm gonna send a message right now in Slack. I probably won't get an answer right now, but I will send one to our product owner at the SBA to find out if we can. That's a good question. If not, I will show the pieces. I will create and I will show the pieces that I can. So a number of our services are open source, small business administration's tools, and these are open source. I will create an architecture diagram of those things. Let me send this right now, actually, because I will forget if I don't send it right now, and I'm doing it right at this moment. On stream. SBA's architecture diagram. What can I show? Okay, I'll find out for sure. I should get a response. Our product owner is super cool, and like, he's probably going to be pretty excited that people want to hear about it. And maybe he'll let me know what I can and cannot show. But yeah, I do think it'll be pretty cool. But like I said, something you can do is that you can go. We have a number of open source applications, US SBA, a number of open source things in the US SBA. People wouldn't know, but like, this is the SBA website client code. And so like, the major pieces of our site, things like our content API that we wrote, that actually grabs our content, that's here. So I can probably show you a fair amount of this infrastructure. This is our entire infrastructure repo, and again, I'm not logged in underneath the account that has access to this. These are open source repositories, so you guys can actually see the kind of code that I touch every day. All the CloudFormation that we write, which is whack. So CloudFormation, we're gonna get there, but the way that we build out like how this stuff works inside of the cloud are through these YAML files like this. When I told you that I'm used to setting things up like this, I'm not used to setting them up manually, because I'm used to setting them up through code like this. And you can see that this is my picture right here. I'm actually only 4 people who have contributed to it, but I'm one of the people who contributes to this repository. But again, it's open source. I don't know why it's open source. You can try to spin this up, but it won't work. Like, it's missing a lot of things that you kind of need to make it work. But we do have some things that you can use. Like, if you're a Terraform user, we've written a bunch of, well, not we've, the infrastructure team that we have has written a bunch of really cool Terraform modules and things. And there's just other things like the brand website. So if you want to find out, maybe you want to follow along and create a site that looks like the SBA's website. I don't know why you would want to. This is probably more so for other government organizations, but you can go through and follow kind of how to do all this stuff, typography, all that stuff. So we're cool, we're cutting edge, we do cool stuff too. Even though we're a government organization, well, I mean, I don't work for that. I don't work for the SBA. I work with the SBA. I work for a contractor. But yeah, that's it. So dope. I hope you got something out of that. I want everyone to relax. You'll see the midterm. I don't want to call it midterm. The test shortly. So keep an eye out for that. But other than that, everyone, like I said, a lot going on right now. Relax. Get some time to yourself. Everyone take care of your mental. Take care of each other. I know everyone feels strongly about a lot of things, but take care of each other. It's okay. Like, you can take care of each other. It's differences don't mean you can't take care of each other. Listen, be open-hearted about things. Be open-minded and open-hearted about things right now, because it's pretty wild. But yeah, just try to be your best self, try to be kind, try to help each other out. People are stressed out about the Rona, everyone's, all that stuff is still going on, all the Rona, and people on top of the things that are happening, people have lost their jobs, people don't know what's happening, people are losing family members. Just be cognizant of I've seen people be kind of cruel, so just be cognizant of all those things. I love you all. I really do love you all. I have a great time interacting, and this becomes my getaway, so really do appreciate it. But that's it for tonight. We're back tomorrow with what do we have tomorrow? Decoded. We have Decoded, and we have Decoded. We will be learning about we're getting into the fun stuff with Decoded now. We are hopping into functions and scope. This is exciting stuff. We're getting into the big stuff, and then we're gonna be hopping into algorithms on Thursday. So we're where people probably wanted to be from the very beginning, but it takes a little bit of time. No big deal. We're already there. But just a little bit of a little announcement, I guess. During this process, actually been venturing out and trying to find out some information about how true in-person boot camps are run, how 24-week boot camps and things have been run. And so the goal is, I actually might take a little bit more time than normal in between this one and the next, the next sessions of these. We'll still be streaming and stuff. I promise this time we're actually gonna be streaming. We'll be building stuff during that time, but the goal is actually going to be to have the exact same resources as a paid bootcamp, the same exact resources, an $18,000 bootcamp. I'm putting that out there. One, for you to hold me accountable, and two, so that you can get excited about it. Honestly, to have a couple different types of boot camps. All of the levels won't have that full scope, but we're talking about real structured branded material on these things. It's a fairly large effort up front, but once it's there, I've been learning about what these boot camps are actually offering, and I have no gripe with any boot camps and stuff out there, but for how much they cost, I just didn't see anything that was given that was all that amazing per se. So at least content wise, so that's the goal. So like I said, I may take a little bit of extra time in between this and the next one of these, because like, yeah, I put some time into making this content, but again, I have a full-time job. It was kind of a secondary thing because there's other pieces of Mastermind that I'm working on, but that's going to change. That's going to change. So what language are you using for algos? That is a great question. I think we're going to have to use Python when we get to the algo section. I think when we get to the algo section, people are going to be because of just the nature of this course, the beginner's course, is that like now that we're here, it's kind of a big like jump from going from like learning, you're getting the tools, you're learning different pieces, and boom, you're solving problems. So generally in this course, we deal with a bunch of different languages. We see things in different languages, see things in Go, JavaScript, Python. But I think when we get to the algo section, we're purely going to focus Python, especially going through the algo section and the object-oriented programming section. But yes, that's what we will be leaning on for that. Yeah, hey, if anyone wants to help, yeah, absolutely. If you need legwork done, let me know. Yeah, oh, dope. That's awesome. Yeah, I would 100% be open to everyone helping, and maybe, I don't know, we'll figure out the structure around it. For sure. But no, 100%. I will share more information when I'm still kind of gathering some information to see where I'm talking to a few people to see where I kind of want to take it. But I've been seriously, I actually enrolled I've enrolled in 2 boot camps to kind of get information, and really just to, and it wasn't to like spy, but it was like to see what people are like, what are people offering, like what are people offering, because again, this is something I'm passionate about. It's just that like extending the opportunity to learn tech to as many people as possible. And I was like, people are people are basically writing their own like PDFs of free code camp. I'm not even joking. And sending you through it by yourself, and then having you sit on with a teacher like an hour a week. That's not a shot at just Thinkful, but like it's very interesting. And people are saying that's something that has worked for some people. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It seemed like a very low bar for how expensive some of these things are. Because like there are things like free code camp, but again, I think people do like to talk to someone. I think people do like to you join a boot camp, you're a part of a community. There's again Slack and stuff that you can connect with. But like I feel like we have a lot of that here. The only difference is that I think that they focused so much more on the strategy around what to learn next. Yeah, we're just gonna do that too. And again, really nice like designer is gonna design the flow of things. There's actually gonna be some thought around it, rather than my janky meme slides. Even though I love them, memes and gifs won't go away. Memes and gifs won't go away at all. But like, you know, I kept them as simple as possible just for my time's sake. But yeah, just being more strategic about that, being, you know, making it, taking it to a different level, to be 100% honest. So just want to throw that out there. Just something I was working on. Again, 1, accountability, 2, get you excited about things that are coming up. But that's it. Let's rate somebody. Who are we rating tonight? Let's head over and see. Wow, this is not like my mouse support. I might have to switch over tomorrow back to my laptop. The experience will be much faster on that System 76 laptop. I just have to get it all set up. So Prime's on. He's doing some dope stuff with Dino. We haven't seen him in a while. We've been doing some smaller people. I'll do a poll. Question: who we rating? And to Prime, someone less than 5 viewers. Who else is in here? What do we got? Cruiser 8. Well, yeah, I don't know who Cruiser 8 is, but let's throw them in the list. Cruiser 8 and we have Alt F4 here. So people who are a little bit larger, we have Alt F4. We've been over there before. Alt F4 is doing some an app. He's like developing this app called Quirk. But yeah, quick poll. You be the judge tonight. You should see. I don't know if you can. I've heard some weird things about polls in mobile, but it's live if you want to vote. I don't. It doesn't matter to me who we're rating tonight. But it's up. It's up for 1 minute. Try it out. Let me see. For frequency app, I'll definitely be reaching out. For sure. Nobody's gonna vote. Not a single person's gonna vote, or is it just slow to come in? There we go. We got a single. We got two. Okay, there we go. You guys don't feel strongly about who we go see in the evenings. I thought you were gonna feel a lot more strongly about it, but no big deal. Let me get the raid button ready for where we're gonna go. Ooh, we have a split right now, so there's only a couple seconds left. So I'm gonna break that split. No one broke the split. So we got Prime and we got someone with 5. Someone with cool overlays. That's Prime. I mean, that's Prime. Or I don't know. We have someone break the tie right now in chat. The first response that comes through in chat, Prime, or someone with less than 5 viewers. Let me know, and we'll choose where to go. The first response I see is what we'll do. Less than 5, cool. Frequency hop. All right. So less than 5. Someone with cool overlays. we got. I said I would take the first one. I'll stand true to that. Let's see what we got. This person has no shirt on. This person is doing some code katas from Code Wars. That's interesting. Let's see. Making 3D puzzle game. Let's see what else we have. I just want to see if automated watch hackers try to break something. I'm not going to any security channels. I feel like that's inviting bad juju upon myself. This person learning Golang for fun and profit. And I like the name. We have to go to Aretha Frankenstein because that is a good name. I really like that. So we're gonna raid Aretha Frankenstein. And we'll get over there. Let's say hello. Thanks everyone for a great stream. Again, stay work, make sure you take some time for your mental this week, just with so much going on. It says that this channel is intended for mature audiences, so you've been warned. I have no idea what this person is about, but let's go say hi.